Damandang Gombo Injin Jamba Yang Cha Cai Lui Kangi Lundrup Tim Yin Tinda Ni Da Nam Da Rab Sa Vi Ji Nian Teng Gun Ji Xin Si Ji Ni Jian Tu Ga Len Ban Zin Kan Dai Xin Bin Zhen Rai Ma Ri Men Ton Tu Ngai Ji Si Vi Du Zoi Gun Lai Pu Jin Dar Zi Yin Lai Tu Ju Yang Din Song Zhu Dar Chen Doi Nü Moi Ni Long Li Ji Zhao Doi Chon Zi Qing Ma Ri Men Se Du Ngai Nü Gu Ji Nian Jun Zi Ran Di De Nian Ta Jin Sa Jun Tar Zi Yun Den Lun Zoi Jiao Xin Tu Wei Zhu Chai Zhu Dan Zhu Nin Yin De Ta Lu Men Sin Jamba Yang Lai Rab Du Du Omara Bazana De Omara Bazana De Mara 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 Bazana De Marambazana de Marambazana de Marambazana de Marambazana Indi Zindin Kinji Kenra Vesenji Talin Timoy Mumbai Rapsani Kandain Dinji Shung Loin Tobai London Bomben Nangwa Zal Duin Soin Kanzen Dawan De Bam Chung Sen Ti Waran De Nayang Gombo Jam Yan Tin Yin Kik Me Bar Yan Tong War Shu Ning Ji Chenpo Zi Ni Me Shen Sung Ni Mo Lam Chenpo Nga Ji Da Be Ga Da Nga Chen Tu Chi Min Do Tenpa Tu Je Chen La Gui Cha Ca Ma Sam Ju Me She Ra Pa Ron Je Ma Je Me Ga Nam Ji Ngo Ni So Do Rang Ri Yi Shi Ju Yu Wa Tusum Jewe Yim La Gui Cha Ca Wu Jin Su Li Pe Me Dong Bo La Jewe Nam Jo Rang Ju Lun Ji Du Chen So Pe Je Yun Den So Bar Wa Pema Ju Nian Da Le Be Se Re Jong Le Ben Lu Du Ar Ya Te Wa Dang Tong Mi Yin Yin Chong Lang Chu Ji Da Yun De We Dan Sha Ji We Ji Sha Khenpo Chung Yin Nam La Gui Cha Ca Wu Men Chu Ji Yin Ji Po Da Ne Tusum Sang Ji Kun Ji Ngo Ni Ra Sum Chu Gu Ngo Sum Den Ze Be Zawe Lamin Shabla So Wan De Da Zo Dewe Lam Na Chue Lan Ju Gun Ju Tok Ba Pa War Chin Ji Lo Ta Tepa Chenpe Lam Ji Wang Du Chi Ne Tene Samba Gya Che Wa Chang Ju Ki Sem Rinpo Che Sheba Te Ngon Du Ta Sam Lo Tang Ne Ta Lop Chung Nang Gu Re.
So, according to the Mahayana traditions, we have to first give rise to the bodhicitta to engage in any Dharma study and practice.
Tene Tepa Chenpe 기초기 냠낸 코란텔라양 사바 똥니기린 바탕 아니 자체와 살람지 남샤서 니용고요래.
So, the for the Mahayana teaching, generally, it is divided into two sections: the section of the profound emptiness, and then section of the vast, the vast path and the bhumis.
아니 단당하람 저기다 롭종 나에 대 아니 사바 어딘 똥니기린 바디 차대요래.
Right now, the subject matter of our study here is the part which is included in the profound emptiness, the direct meaning, the direct presentation of the meaning of the emptiness.
태양다 다자기 덤바기 추지콜로 렘바 숨고르 유베 나네 아니 네 자고 풍버리라 아니 까바바 체님해봐 송와 다 디기다 낭시 차대기래.
Within the three turnings of the wheel of Dhamma by Buddha, the second one, which was turned in vulture's peak, the and the teaching of the characteristic, the absence of the characteristic. On that part, that now this the Heart Sutra is part of that teaching.
다 사무 똥반 얘기 된 대라 당한도 야고 지는 고수버 제발라 다 우메기 땡주 나라 아니 땡지 첨보 시암 나선드네 송용구도.
So, for understanding this profound emptiness in depth, then the Madhyamika tradition comes with the 4 or 5 great reasonings.
다 디나네 딱 가든 간조 땡지 첨보 니 콜라디 간조 또 주들로 중심바라.
So within those 5 Madhyamika or 4 Madhyamika reasonings, we have already covered 2 of them.
라량 당가랑조 지양 딜라 지금 저 양지 삼식 나의 지도 양 기자 돌주지 슈바이나.
So just to remind you of the past, the content we have covered.
다지당 딘데레 ngaran 저기 단단 낭샤비 취디 덴바레도 사명한 저기다 출사대 둘출되기라.
Generally, we have this confusions of thinking that all our the perceptions, the things we perceive, are truly established. They have real existence. That's our confusion.
드니 로 양다발 파바 남기 델라 냠십 지형디 다데 ngaran 저기 낭디네 덴바레 삼베 숭데바데도 탐제 너와임바 출와임바 데 다리벨 남니마 아니 덴베 지형구라.
Then the correct way of seeing the perceptions of the noble ones, that in the correct way is established through these reasonings of the Madhyamika traditions.
라스는 다데 ngaran 저 가진 슈반난 신기 양자 직진이 슈긴다.
So I will speak a few things that we have already spoke about.
지당하는 좀 오보지라 오보딜라 규던 디우건이 남샤치기라.
And generally, any phenomenon are kind of perceived through the theory of the causality, cause and effect relationship.
다 규던 디우스기는 다다 싱오비 땡나가는 가서 삼박당으로 당보 율기가.
So then this causality we have to analyze on the basis of the external object.
다 규던 디우스기인데 당가는 저 신간나라 로도 따윈디 사변니 아니 디우 뉴구 멤버들이 그림바치라 다 디간에 삼박당으로 당보.
First, we have to think about cause and effect relating to the situation in our farm field, in the farming field.
다 지당 알아서 용자라 삼박당인디 가서 당부 규답 규대라 아니 갈래만 되우게 용와라서 간저기 딘데기 삼출기 림바치 남치기 림바치 유에데버라.
Generally, we have this common belief that first we planted the cause, and then from cause, then the result arises. In another way, this from the seed, the sprout arises.
단다 깨샤베 데우디 귤라 때네 중아레 슬라그라.
And we also sorry. We also said that the result or the seed, the sprout, is coming into existence depending on the cause.
아니 규디기 가르치기래라니까 데우디 깨베기 내가 지그래 슬라그라.
We also said that what the cause does is to produce the effect or the result.
다디 규단 데우니기 가진 삼로 땅에 지와라. 규단 데우디 냠도 요래기 아니 규 예배값을 데우 매바제 데우 예배값을 규 매바 딘데레 데원이 연구와.
So, as last time, there were the cautions whether the cause and the effect are simultaneously existent or whether cause exists independently. The effect exists independently from the cause. Effect is there while the cause is not there.
다 냠도 여바디 간쪽이 켈린퉁 말아와.
We can't really accept the first point of cause and effect being simultaneous.
간쪽 싱가당나 사변 답기 디값으로 데우 요래서 간쪽 랍토고 말아와.
So we can't really say that while we are planting the seed in our field, we can't really see the sprout or the result. We can't say that.
간쪽이 삼나라 냠도 요송나 때네 그래 귤을 내가 매바차그라 되게 주 셔바디 데우 깨베 자와지라 데우 당분이 콘냠도 요나 안 귤이 내가 매바차도 그래스 디데 삼으실리그라.
So then we have to come to the understanding that if they are simultaneous cause and effect, then the cause is purposeless of being itself. Effect is already there. Then generally the work or the purpose of the cause is to produce effect. But effect is already there, then cause is useless.
다 디네다 딕사 말에 쭉 당보치 엔디치 사병이 제 뉴구당 데우 담마드 갈레 젤 림바시네 게임으로스타 삼로 딘데다 덴바레도 삼시기라.
Yeah. However, we still think that the cause comes first, and then the cause produce effect, and then another effect. So in that kind of the phenomenal procedures, we would kind of take it to be true.
다 규단 데우 세겐디 니기 파르텔라 찌기 깨기 펜토고자지 고라 펜토베 자와시 고라.
So generally, between cause and effect, there has to be a relationship in a way that each others are helping. There's two of them helping each others. The causes helps the effect to arise.
당가난서 딘델람나 펜토버 제발라 요고구다. 규기 데울라 펜토버 제발라 데우 요고구라.
Well, then if they have to kind of help each others, then they both have to be existent. If the cause has to help the effect, then effect has to be there already.
테니 메바실라 펜토통마라.
However, if the effect is non-existent, then the cause will not be able to, kind of give a help or give make a connection with the cause which is with the effect which is non-existent.
따디 펜토버 제발라 요고구나 따인 유이가서 데우 요고 차고다.
So then if they have to they are helping each others or connecting each others, they are in contact, well then both has to be together in a way.
다 여바지 양 켈린 퉁마라 되게 지금 말했어 가지고 세상 하고 살아.
However, the both existing together is not something we can accept. We have already talked about it.
양은 저 우메슈는 빼셴바시아 디젠슈나.
In Majamaka, it has given another analogy for this point.
제가 저 빠와당 부니 발기 민톱당 걸라 계제시나.
If we can talk about naming between the father and the son,
부구 짜원이네 매발라 빠와서 민땅난 지금 말아.
without any child, we can't really call someone as father.
되니 빠와킨 매발라 부구스는 연구 말아. 빠와 여바실라 되니 부구 깨고라.
But without a father, there can't be a child as well. The child has to be arising from the father.
부구 당분이 여역할라 빠와스나 민디 토구 말아 냠발. 냠도. 규단 되우기 시디버스. 부구 당분이 여역할라 콜라 빠와스나 민 연구 말아.
Well, then, if the child is existing from the very beginning, then there is also no purpose of calling someone as father.
빠와 부구니 로직 바리 라인도 시단 되니 연구 말아.
We can't even say the father and the sons are same age. We can't really say that.
다 부구 짜원이네 매바질라 빠와서 민 간디시다고.
Well, then, without a single child, then how can we call someone as father?
다디 리바디라 사노 또 스탄걸 되니 고한 예용 그래.
We have to think about these reasonings a little bit, and then we will slowly find some understanding.
히나 땅은 삼도 따디 가릴라거든. 빠와 당부 열에 부구 젤리 게르선 랍그라.
But however, we ordinary beings will not accept this kind of reasoning. So we will say, oh, what a nonsense thing. We would just say, from fathers, there definitely comes the son.
대 부구 매베 빠와스네 샤노다 캔사보라.
However, without a son or child, it is very strange to just call someone as father or parents.
근데 로직 난 이기 부구 중중 라이 빠와스네 민 랍고네 캔사보 차그라.
If we have to call a child at age 1 or 2 as father or parents, that would be very strange as well.
다디 딱지 약부 딱나 빠와 부구 대와 주는 대우 대와 뒤다지 딱다 덴바 디레스는 무슨 제메 예 말 주는 대우기 대와 조당지나 균댕이 덴바레스는기 아주 송투에지 말.
So what this points out is that actually the causalities, the theory of the causalities, we can't really say something that is a cause and another is effect. So that's what is pointing out here.
다 너르나디 덴바 타르도디 말해서 쉬고요다.
In short, it also points out that these kind of things are not the ultimate truth.
다 망보지기 다 직den기 나와디 덴바 타르도레 송들이라.
Yeah, many people think the ordinary perceptions, the way of seeing things in an ordinary way, is the ultimate truth.
덴바 타르도기나 주레메라 찍랑 대고라.
If our normal perceptions are the ultimate way of seeing things, then it has to be in the truth which is not changing.
베낭랑조 롱닌 타베라오지당 아니 규마kengi 아니 가저 규메 출낭된 뜨인디 값수 까브리 찍도 까브리 니도 까브리 로션바도 까브리 로켄바도 딘데기 남바 찍도 망예바 망부 뜨인디 값수 어디 주말에 슬라그랑 저기.
So generally in movies, in mirage experience and others, dream experience, so forth, things changes from moment to moment. And in the movies, one scene changes to the next, and then we say, therefore we say it is not really true. The movies, themes, and their, their phenomena are not really true. We just say that.
다 덴바 마인 경기 김제 약슈 딩아줄로 랄레라고 샤레디 가르스나 규르와첸레도 슬라게라.
The best reasons we can have to kind of see things are not truly established, and things we see are not ultimate truth is seeing things to be impermanent. Things are changing from moment to moment, momentary.
다tomba 산지기 최 당부 고쪽도니 거랑 탐지 루위 추진 준비랑시 미딱바 송샤이레.
So Buddha, from the very beginning, he taught the teaching of the impermanence. He said, everything is impermanent. Everything is fleeting.
다디 냄바스기니 규르와 메바직 다 고으로 알아.
However, the truth, the ultimate truth, has to be something which is not changing.
다 너르드나 단다 가르숭을 쓰나데 가주다 규단 제우 숙도질 빼샤라. 대낭싱이 다 디로레자 다 풍봉아버기 최탐제양 미덴베랑싱인 바죠. 준베랑싱인 바죠. 가서 고할렌 두고 그래. 단당아주 다 쪼디 숙이가네 빼샤용으로라. 대빼 천백이 서로와 누지 남시에서요라 풍봉아요라. 풍봉아버 차상 레레레 강니 거랑 따직 덴바르 마주바 랑싱기 마주바 임바지 가서 고할렌 두바지 치고.
So far, the teachings have been just explaining through the form aggregates. On the form aggregates, we are trying to establish the emptiness, view of emptiness. But then, just like that, form aggregates, all other, the rest of the aggregates of the feelings and the perceptions, formation, and consciousness, all of this, through Madhyamaka reasoning, has to be not truly established.
다 도드나 딘조 줌바레 루아레스 람나 괴바도 가리요레스 슈바이나.
So if we say they are not truly established, they are false and they are deluded perceptions, then what is actually the purpose? What is the purpose of that there?
다 짜와들도 다 디디고 간다 줌바임바 무엇이나 짐바 슈고 말해 셴바 슈고 말해 순거래.
So then if we are able to know that they are false, our perceptions are false, then we will be able to reduce or let go of our fixations and attachment.
다 쪼디 단다 우메기 릴람 숭이 차상디 가조 노르데리 출데리 짐바 마체 숭이 돈다님보 드루토데.
So the main point of the Madhyamaka reasoning is that we should not hold or have fixations on the things that we believe to be a real existence. We should not have such false mistakings and the incorrect perceptions. That's what the Madhyamikas are trying to kind of point out.
타임 빼지 슈바이나.
If I may speak of another analogy.
보고 중중 저 때문따그로 알아. 때문따데 코랑기 가사기 미디 마 차웨다오지당 델라직 나자 파와다오다 디디 메바산 따고도 오네레 섬따딜라 짐바슈니다 무이데기로.
So when a child watch a movie and then in the movie the character that he or she likes, if that character is getting injured or getting eliminated or getting kind of killed, then the child will show all different kinds of emotion, will cry, so forth.
아니 양 디낭기 미디라네 이제 고야야고 사야야고 건낭와 기부잖아요. 뿌그된 코페 메시양 가지도 정거라.
But on the other hand, the character in the movie is being very elegant and very smart and getting all the enjoyments. Then the child who is watching will, at the same time, will enjoy and will be very happy.
테니타 로 겜바지라라. 로 겜바디기다 디 롱닝디 소당 간데에 바 디낭기 미기 내당 차상 내줄 하고 되게 미치기 콜 디네 때문따디 콜 서로시라요 말에.
And then compared to the child, if there is an adult person who knows the nature of the movie. He knows the movie is just made by other peoples, and he knows this is the movie is not the real life. Then for him, he would not experience such emotions as the child.
뿌기 때문 따디가서 때문 통구열에 미 겐바디기 때문 따디 때문 통구열에.
But however, both the child and the adult persons are seeing the movie.
찍들라 찍 서로와 가득 춤부치래 찍라 시작하요 말에.
One has a very extreme the emotional experience, and then the other one kind of has a neutral experience. He doesn't get to experience very intensive emotions.
다 디케가디다 가서 사람 티와타나디 찍 김세 갈라 때네 중화리라다 찍이 오늘에 삼레 찍디 주마이 뭐 하고네래 가서 렌디 찍으러 와.
When we try to find out what is actually the the reasons or the cause that is making the distinction between those two peoples, then is that one knows that it is not real, the movie is not real, the other one does not know. So that actually the things we can come to the conclusion.
다 딜레겐 게 답되시나 보고 중요지 때문다네 직 때문이나나 서로와 샘바교로지는 콩우다라 추니다 파마이나인다 다지 로 겐바디기 랍자 가리제 그래 보고들라 망우에 답시 살레시도 가릴라 그래.
Yeah, generally, if a child is crying in front of a movie and being very sad, then the adult people in the family, what would they do? What would they say to the child?
Get a symbol rolla. Mongu, this Zumares like wrong, what did you wrong?
Yeah, it is actually very simple. Then the family member, they would say to the child that, don't cry, it's not real.
다디 주마이 메기 어제들라 때네 탑람 가시 있던 거라.
So just the way of showing that things are not truly established, that is kind of the method, a simple method.
다 특별히 그냥래. 상기 시작해도 버기 가들라 람 대가랑 쓴 거예요. 된당 엄마들라.
So this is very similar to what Buddha did. Buddha is actually just teaching the same things to us. It's very similar things.
다 그래도 7월 6일 된저 라떼는 가둑별만 맞지. 이 주말에 쓴 거예요.
So Buddha is telling us that we don't have to really have this intense emotion towards the external object. That's what Buddha is telling us.
이 주말에 쓴 거예요.
Buddha is telling us that our experience are false and mistaken.
당한저 람양 다바 마통경기 강사차상 보고 주는 낭시래. 가와 정말 엔저스 양자 숙체는
So those of us who do not see the proper path, the correct paths, are like the child who are watching the movies. We just get attached to all the external phenomena and then gets very emotional.
파만 가시 디 부구딜라 디 다디 주말에 셈바마ጆ스 어제jel라 니모 먹고 거기도 알아. 당한서야 산지기 디 람데나 가시 미즈모 거랬냐가 가시다 디 람상 떠오르더라.
So then the parents just telling their children that the movies are kind of not real life. It takes many days to convince the children that it's not real life. It's just like that, for us, in order to understand the proper path, that seeing the path that Buddha shown, it might take many lifetimes.
가시 따리 원 넘부는지는 다 두즈 통동질라 똑도 봤으리라.
But however, for those who are intellectually very sharp, then they might take much less time.
다 된다님부 디 주마인 방어시는 짐바 마시고 지고리 숨그르다.
So the heart of the matter is that, knowing things to be false, our perceptions are false and mistaken, then we should not give rise to the attachment of fixation.
다디 시인디 가서 동니 시인 가서 탐제 가연 통야 매바지레 숨고요 말에 동굴에데 통화디 랑싱이 마주바레서 그거 하는 거.
When explaining the emptiness, they don't really say we don't see anything. Sorry, and they say we see things, but what we are seeing, the things, external object, what we see are not the actual truth. That's what the teaching of the emptiness is pointing out.
다 탈뚝이 된라 시인디 유화쟁기 취딩 안전 다 검냠낸 제송나 냠낸 탈뚝 엄마데 자기요 말했어 그래.
So then if we the practice on the phenomena which is always fleeting and momentary, then it would not be the genuine practice. That's what it says.
땡아도 다 유화 매베기다. 남도 탐질의 대비기 전이 삼노당 땐티 다 쪼달래 송인 거라.
So for us, what we have to practice on is the things which is not changing, which is beyond all our conceptual patterns, which is also beyond elaboration.
다 똑삼지다 발생해서 고할렘도 거래 뺄더니.
So I hope probably so far we have reached some understanding of the truth, the ultimate meaning of the emptiness.
다 쪼디 가르스나디 낭와디 주말에 세긴 가지고 고할레시 고래.
So the main understanding we should be able to have at the moment is that whatever appearances we perceive are not truly established.
당가도 로아 미세긴디 찌당 찌도니 시나 디 덴바레도 가르스 통구도 우선랑이 시들라 그런 거죠.
So generally, we ordinary beings, we will say things are real because we see them. We will say that.
당가족이 덴바 이민디 통말로 균전지 꾸그와.
However, whether they are true or no, we just have to reason on how we are seeing them.
다 통화딜라 아니 덴바레스는 게 균전디 양다바시 샤투 말와.
Just seeing would not be a proper reason to establish things to be a real existence.
근데 준비기 취해 망부 통행도와.
So many false phenomena are also visible.
때베제 나는 남주인은 가서 춘낭기 다와 멜롱낭기 숙년들이 샤용으라.
And the false phenomena and taught in the scriptures are the moons in the waters and the image in the mirror, so forth.
지금 깝깔은 가서 되네서 미기어스에서 미기들이 죽을지나 다원이 통도와.
Sometimes also other analogies such as just pressing our eyeballs and seeing different two moons. That kind of analogies are given.
아직 통화이나 덴바 인백이 김센디 누구요 말.
So this kind of points out that whatever we see is not truly existent.
다 쪼디 통제 강부 덴바 말에 준바야 통초그래. 다디 고할len 거.
So it points out that whatever we see might not be the true existence or the true and correct things. We may also see incorrect, false, and mistaken things.
니 딩상 땅아서 든 빼샤 야보준도 도라 아키텍트 딘조기 탑켜와 제 피지기 촉진의 삼나 미 수부도 통도와 눈을 예람도나 직 수부 이빈도 차상 차셰 카탈 되거든도 자기나 맞.
So these days there are things made by architectures, things from one side looks very like human beings, but then if we look very closely, then they appear to be something else.
때딘데 가서 통화디 덴바레 세긴디 김센디 양다바 조고요 말.
So therefore, things are real because we see them. It's not a proper way of reasoning. It's not tenable.
당부 덴바레 라긴기 통영 코너 툴데로 알아.
This one who says that is true, this our way of seeing things is true, as the person himself is already confused.
땅이 다 담에 좀 몽시서.
So I'm speaking too much nonsense things.
다 딘저 콜라 양 캬심부 켄도이나 때네 슝첨부든 럽정도 나나 살로 차그래.
If you want to know more about these things, then it's good to study the major treaties.
다들 우마바기 다 신가 남나 사변다는 대우기기 말스케지 라그에 말다데.
But however, the Madhyamaka proponent, they do not say that we will not be able to produce a result by planting the cause seed in our farm field.
된 니네 남나 직된당 갈도라.
If they say such things, then it will be completely contradictory to the worldly phenomena.
때 귤레 대우기기래 때 랑심 마주베출도 기기래 숨 고알랭다.
So Madhyamaka say that even though the effect arises from the cause, there arises in the form of not being truly established, not having the self-nature, the cause, the result, sorry.
다 랑심 마주베출도 께 초바텔라 다 땡델스 숨고 그래.
So arising as not truly existing things is can be taken as the dependent origination as well.
다 땡델라 양 때니 땡네 깨바치당 뜨네 딱 봤어. 니도 쉬는 거래.
Then for the dependent originations, there could be two different types.
찍라 땡네 찍깨바 땡네 깨바라 찍디 찍라 뜨네 딱바.
Those two types, one is that arising depending on something else, and then the other one is dependently labeled depending on something else. Then one entity is labeled.
그래서 다디 콜라양 젤라양 거 갈래 슌 슈초바체.
About this, we can, if we find time, we can speak about again.
다 드링시에 디 가르스나디 가징아조 땡직 첨봉가 하나는다 숨바디 무식견 고스게 디콜라 증윤이 슈기.
So today we will talk, say a few things on the Madhyamaka reasonings of the refuting the four permutations of the arising. So we will speak few things on this.
타타는 간적이 지도네 삼로디 디 리바딘 저기 덴버 드바 까이도 인디고서 덴바 세컨디 유로메 바실 고그라 남주 덴룹 세컨지 도알라 리페 딱지 땅나인 거 율민님 거 랑축 진네 두면질 고그라라.
So generally the truly established has to be something which is withstanding through all the reasonings. Even if we analyze with all the possible reasoning, the truly established things has to be, if there is one, it has to be the withstandings on its own foot.
빼는 둥디 까르레스 라그로아.
Yeah. Generally, we say the conch is white in color.
당간 저기 딱제 가렸다나요. 그 까르 많이 봐서 잘 요마고 까르랑 실내 되기로 와.
So, however way we analyze it, we will not make it or turn it into another color. It will always remain as white.
다 디낭신기로 와. 코랑 융업을 기코랑 규단 대우기 남자 샤인도 있다. 디레라나 대가랑을 마도양 기로와 민족은 질 고할랭 거래.
So just like that, the true existence or the ultimate truth has to be something which is not changed by reasonings or the refutation, so forth.
다 무식견고 쉐바티로와 지당간조 규칙래 대우칙기그래 스긴기 림바칙이래 디디기면 누우송래.
So about this refuting the four fermentations of the arising, it generally says the arising one causes arising from, one effect or result arising from another one causes is not tenable. That what the the third reasoning is refuting or talking about.
규칙래 대우직 깨박이 녀바데 민두 대바 말해도 순거.
So it says that one effect arising from one cause is not tenable, is not logically true, correct. That what is.
당저 삼로 답 대우시베나 규충중 직래 대우식동 전부 당 약간 망부진 깨주도. 다디 꾼꾼디 통라. 규칙래 대우직 깨박이 녀바 민두 규사변 충중 직래 대우식동 전부 약간 망부 유긴 끼도 하스.
No, that's it. So, one reason, or the cause is giving rise to one effect is not really tenable. One small cause can give rise to a huge effect, such as a tree with all different kind of branches. So that's what it says.
대한항신 양 규칙래 대우 망부직래 쓰긴 딘디기한 덴바레에서 디양에 봐요 말씀 거.
Then at the same time, it says one causes producing multiple effect is also not tenable.
되는 아주 규칙장마래 대우직장마 지게 여러.
But generally, sometimes there is the case that one effect, one cause producing one single effect.
배낭하나도다 규당 대우기 깨직 당보다 이와든서도 깨직 레레레만 깨 말아.
For instance, if we think in terms of the moment, then the first moment of the cause and give rise to only one another moment of in the next second moment, which is its an effect or the result.
다디 디기면도 나타인 가시 가서 다 유망부 전에 대우 찍게 그래스라.
And then in another case is that gathering many causes, then producing one effect. They also assert this kind of the possibilities.
양 알아서 가시 가서나디 규칙라더니 대우 망부 찍게 그랬으나 그냥.
Then in another case, they would say that from one
규칙라더니 대우 망부 찍게.
or from one cause, then there might arise many result.
다 전단님들이 가르치겠으나디 규당 대우 깨당디 덴바 찍도 마주 바래 송고르다.
The heart of the matters is that the causalities and the effect arising from cause is not one way of just happening the things.
깨당기 림바 말아만다고 요래 송고르.
It says there are many different, multiple ways of cause giving rise to effect.
깨당기 림바 만다고 요소나 규와 진차서와 규리 대우 깨당티 템보 민도와 덴바레 민도와.
If there are multiple ways of cause producing an effect, then it kind of points out the things are not truly established. They are not stable. They are always just changing.
규와 젠디 줌바레 랑싱이 마주바레 슈거 된다.
So, in short, it says that the things which is changing all the time is not true, not correct.
다등이 단다 딘조 망치다 삽제 마통 좀 슈인 다딘조 콜라 레레레레 딘데기 규칙레 대우직 계기레 랑이 딘조 뇌겐디 수레서야 슝충분나나 코랑코랑기 밍레레 요레 딘데기 삼로 kir긴다 둠다 kir긴다 요라 딘조 까가 용 그랬죠.
So, I speak just to give you the main idea. In the text, they talk, talk about this point in great details, and they mention all the the opponents and the proponents of those different schools.
그런 tum단랑라 시당진의 연구도 소소기.
In the philosophical school, they have different views and different way of propounding their views.
다딘데 인디 다디 우메텐지 첨부 nga시디가서 무식견고서는 그런 릭바 카가시그리 까버 우메텐지 첨부 시수인디가서 무식견고디 귤어줘봐 도지스미 텐지 낭라 dü니 마소용 그래.
Yeah. When it talks about the five great Madhyamaka reasoning, then there's the refutation of the four possibilities of the arising. It's singled out. But when it is the four Madhyamaka reasoning, then the specific reasonings of the four possibilities of the arising is included in the Vajra splendor, the investigating the cause.
땅아도 다 덴지 첨부 숨지고라다 슈드바라 귤어줘봐 도지생마 제울어줘봐 유메견고 아니 규단 대우 니가라 줘봐디다 단다 무식견고선 리바딘디 직송래.
So far, we have covered three Madhyamaka reasoning. The first one is investigating the cause of Vajra splendor. Second one is investigating the effect, refuting the existent and the non-existent effect. And the third one is investigating both cause and effect, the refuting the four permutations of arising.
다티는 바 시바디 콜라양 직 도지 주바이나.
Then, if I may speak a few words on the fourth reasoning.
테니 ngol 줘봐 직 두달 송용 그래.
That is the one which is called the investigations of identity, refuting singularity and plurality.
다직 두달람 직단 타대기 리바테 다 우메기 땡주 나나나 우마 자와시랍지 류쪽제 바나 송여래.
So these reasonings of refuting singularity and plurality is taught in these 18th chapters of the root verses of the middle way, Mula Madhyamaka Karika.
테니 직 두달기 리바 코랑 믹스에 짤도 뜨는데 테니 켄진 시와초기 와 아니 공기 때문에 우마 겐나라 빼 개발송여래.
이제 시와초로. Then on these reasonings in Shandarashita, in his Madhyamaka Lankara, he talked in great details on this point.
다디 땡직 전부 시암 응아디 강롱 찍라 숭네 데 똥니 똑토 그래. 미치기 땡직 전부 응아가 냠냠 지고 계자 말이. 땅아서 럽종 지디가서 차장 지구에라 이나의 냠낸 지긴 된적이 땡직 레레레기다 똥니기 과께 두고 그랬어.
Generally, it is the case that one of these great reasoning will just, starting one of these, we will be able to understand the meaning of the emptiness. But generally in Sheta, when we study all of them together. But as a practitioners, if you use one and you kind of study one and use one for your practice, you will be able to understand the meaning of the emptiness.
딱할라 수디 장디 가서 마무 장거라 사회 코랑 가서다 코랑라 빠베기 참바직 사회에 뭐다 장세 간부 사회 말아라 사 고구 말아.
When we learn to cook, we will learn all different kinds of skills. But when we actually need to eat food, we will not be using all our skills. We will just use one.
장지 강부 사나들이 가서 objection 뭐 이런 거라.
If we have to use all our skills just cooking a meal, it would be very tiring.
다 tinzo dinang신 찍바래.
Yeah. It is just like this analogy.
다 디디 디바디 딘데 송고래 칭오벽이 땡라 율디 덴바 인송와이나 다 덴바디 찍레기 타데레스 리바디레스 땅용고래.
So this reasoning is actually analyzed about if the things which we hold to be true, on the external object, if that there is a truth in the external object, then with this reasoning just kind of asks us that whether that truth is one or many.
제가 먼저 하고라 가나저 예배 잘라데 찍레기 망보리라나 디니 강론치 렌잡고 디 강론은 누구라.
So generally, if we are asked that whatever we have, our possessions are one or two, then we have to give one of those answer, whether at the one or many.
다 율기 강라 제인디 거수 다 고주당데 당분이 고주고라.
So then we have to start with the one, the concept of the one, things being one.
다 잘라 찍디 찍기랑신도 덴바레스 라고라 한 거지.
So we would say one entity is truly established or is true in a single entity.
다 두르페샤나 다디 멘도 마우디 찍레스 슈고라 멘도 마우디.
Yeah. For example, for this flower, we have to say this is one single flower.
다 찍당 망분이디 카가라라.
And generally, single or one is different from many.
찍이아니 망분이스 랍축 말하디.
Yeah, we can't really say this is one as well as many. We can't say that.
디 람나데 거 데마 많이 바차로라 주마시긴 차로라.
If we say that, then we are people who are speaking not true things. We are speaking telling lie. Yeah, basically.
다지 찍인소나 다 콜라 얄가 망부도아 그 망부 차로도아.
Yeah, but if it's one, then it also has many branches. Yeah, with these branches, it actually becomes many things.
다고 찍 라우도서.
Then the one single entity has disappeared.
다고 망부 차서.
Now it has become many.
다티 먼저 롤 답도 여마라. 면도 찍만 면도 망부도서 가릴라 그랬ting라.
But to our ordinary understanding, it would be quite uncomfortable that thinking things are becoming one to many. We would just say it's just one single flower.
근데 망부석인데 고 찍는 주고 그러와.
Many has to be started from a single.
딱 망부 찍고는 예를 미진데 망부 간데 시작이야 가서.
If we do not find the single, the singularity, then how would we be able to posit something as many or multiple?
뭐 다디 까브레 찍 랍초도 까브레 망부 랍초도는 덴바 마레스 고르.
But then, if we could say something sometimes as a single, sometimes as a multiple, then it becomes false. It's not correct. It's just mistaken.
다 이제 제 말했던 것도 나랑 맞잖아.
In short, it says that such things cannot be trusted.
남진 것도 미지라 까브레 빼샤 요엘라기도 까브레 빼샤 메라기도 담이데 가르라 시게나 생가서 이 책 말아.
Sometimes just in our normal life, some people would say that I don't have money. Sometimes they would say I have money. So if such person says such things, then we would not take him so seriously in.
오, 테나싱 따따다 미디 낭싱기 칭오베 땡라 가서디 주말에도 삼백 삼로 깨트나 텔라 짐바 쉬고 말해.
Just like that, just the perception we later get to have on that person, thinking person is a liar. Then if we if we are able to apply that kind of perception to the entity like that flower and all other things, then that is the way we should do actually.
당저 다 미디다 템브라 야말 콜라 이체 시라 야말 생간저 로 뉴 지금 말와.
So for the person, we would say he is not very reliable, he's a liar, and so we would try to avoid being very close to that person.
베트나 생간은 저기 친 수다티로 렉자든저라 로 뉴 시라 심디 덴바레 선페 짐바슈에 메리슨 그래.
So just like that analogy, so all other phenomena, external phenomena, the form, sound, smell, and all of this are not really, trustworthy of our, kind of, we can't really trust them in a way.
다딜라 리바 딱지 땅에 가시 가르레스나디 7월기 락바이 ngo보든저다 데마 말에 줌바레스 라그래.
So through those reasoning, actually, it's positive that all the external course matters are not truly established.
이나양 타와 참에 세긴디 데마 메나 락바 룹투서 말에 숨거.
However, the 말봐.
엄마 말해. 좀더 신다디.
So then others, philosophical proponent, they would say, even though we can accept the course matter being not truly established, but the subtle matters, the partless matters, they cannot accept as not being truly established. Without those things having their true nature, then we won't be able to kind of have or enjoy those coarse matters. That's what they say.
참에 둘 타워들라 인지기는 칼 애담 락 말해. 오 다디 덴바레 샤도 숨거 간다.
So those are partless particles. In English, it might be called atoms. The small, the subtle object. So these, the other school, they accept to be truly existent.
다 오메 리그비니 시엔디 단다 찍 두달기 리그비 원에 시엔디 대양 덴바레면도 숨도.
But Madhyamaka, through the reasoning of those not one nor many, as kind of posit that even those things, those subtle phenomena, the partless particle, they are also not truly established.
다디 덴바 찍 임바지 켈링기라 디 디기미도 숨거.
Generally, they accept those to be one single truth, but Madhyamaka then do not accept those points.
다 리바디 리글람디 간데 숨거 쓰는데 가주 타와 있는 콜라 촉시 와 땡옥 참시 내기 촉 넘버 주지메나 코 락바 두두고 말했어 그래. 타와들 둘째 참에지 애템들레라라 가주 타와 있는 콜라양 촉시 참시 땡옥 생기 코랑기 촉 넘버 주지메나 코 락바 두두고 말했어 그래.
디 치료베도 숨으로 봐.
에메디 말에 단 낭베기 둔다마와 가시기 참에 덴두지 켈링라 델 우마베 리바 덴디스코니 덴바레도스네 샤투고 말레스 참에 찍라기라 찍 착사 말레스 콜라 촉 만다와 주담바도 하슨 거.
So generally those non-Madhyamaka, including the Buddhists, they would accept this some of them, they would accept this partless particles to be the ultimate truth. However, Madhyamaka, from Madhyamaka point of view, then that's not something that they can accept. And if those particles, if they are partless, then they won't be able to kind of be able to produce the concrete coarse matters. If they are partless, they has to have the different sides, north side, east side, and the west side, and the kind of south side, as well as the top and the bottom. All of this has to be there. So
다 가서다 촉주나
tako tegi demba chigre langi di ta mara gal swala mangbu chak thwa ko
If it has many sides or 10 sides, then the earlier the positions of positing one single truth, one single ultimate truth, becomes something untenable.
ta koran zu deba nanshi chokchik yimbe wangdo tangna
If we kind of accept how they posit as things having the one single the side,
tine zambolingi chala thamde chokchik changma ma yong mar chokshi yugi chala che rang mar
then we will not find throughout the entire world, we will not find any single entity which has 4 sides. Everything has only one side.
penna ngado shena dongma do surdang jabme ba chai nyanga ro
For example, me, I would be having only the front side. My back side and left side, right side would not be there.
kasna di chawa dile rakba dubyong di go chokmena chokchik changma ne dubyong na ta degi physics sogi gi miro cha ro ngan cha
저친해주고 텐트로.
다 둘들 차찍 맞으면은 차찍네 야 라바 좀면은 촉 심바 메깅이 따잘라 차용 그런 거죠. 라바 두병디
If the particle has only one side and from there it develops, then it develops very strangely just only from one side, and it will not grow from the other side. Just like the analogy we gave, the image created by the architect.
다디 찍이 맞지 캔lên 되게 말해.
So therefore, this kind of points out that we cannot accept them to be one single things, the truth.
다 뎀바 찍 맞으나 뎀바 두마스는 연구를 샥 두 말아.
If the truth is not a single entity, it's not single, then it is not possible that truth is also many.
단당 알아서 낭 대백이 찍당 두마스겐티 뎀바 마인 바직 용축을. 랑시 마두 바직.
But however, our way of seeing things, our perceptions, can be things which is neither one nor many.
다 디디라 시레도 리바디.
Yeah, this is the kind of reasoning by this great Majamaka point.
다 디디엘 때는 최탐 랑시 마두 바시 바지 고할렌 토죠.
From this, what we have to understand is that all phenomena, all these conditioned phenomena are not truly established. That's what we have to understand.
드니 찍 타데기 리바디기 양 강사기 담에 뗄라 배발라양 배준난 거래.
These reasoning of refuting singularity and plurality is used to establish the selflessness of person.
다 도드는 되게 쉬운 나신기 ngaran 저기 냠내 ngo마디 락동디 똥니 냠내 난거 그러라 똥니디 줌바 르베랑신지 겁나 되게 말했어 그래.
Yeah. In short, our main practice, the Vipassana practice, is the practice of the emptiness, understanding the meaning of emptiness. So for that, if we practice on the things which is failing, deceptive, then that would not work. We will fail. That's what it says.
쑥 락바치 겁나 되게 말해.
It is not okay to meditate a concrete or coarse the form.
근데 서로 기부시는 디 겁나에 되게 말해. 대한 미다 말해.
On the other hand, if we kind of meditate a very pleasant sensation, that is also not correct.
아주 디선 community 오 나라 가르치 vibration 당 서로 약보시 디 겁 고마르스나 똥니 거니 락동 거니 신나 디 겁 고마 차게요 말해.
Sometimes we might say, while I'm meditating, there's a great, vibrations, and I feel very great. But however, that would not be the proper meditation for the meditation of the vipassana and emptiness.
다디 검기엔라 냠 생들이디. 검기 검잡에 가서 림바칼레 칼로 냠 샤레든요. 딘낭기 낭세지레. 딜라 고코레 메르다. 디 고코는 락동 통통 말해.
So these kind of experience are called the nyam in Tibetan, kind of different feeling or the sensations. We should not be kind of deceived by these kind of feeling or experiences in the process.
다 대가나신기다 두제 남셰 다 가려야 고민 메리 디 탐지 루베 초진디 랑시 마주 바래도 데레 데베기다 된 학동지만 냠는 땅고.
Just like this, we can't, also meditate the perceptions of formations and the consciousness. All of these are not the genuine practice. We have to practice something which is beyond all of those.
다 시내기 람기 림바값은 딘데 검축을 되는 학동 음악값은 디 낭나드니 학동 천이바 작민도 동만이강 랩투고 말.
In the practice of shamatha, we can practice on those things. However, in the practice of the vipassana, we can really practice, those things cannot be the main object of our practice. It won't be, if we do so, then it won't be genuine, the correct practice of the vipassana.
돈 라버도 풍봉안 안에 가서 넘버 셰바스다 깨자 답 도르드니 셰서나 셈생인디 겁나 지기요 말해서.
Among the 5 aggregates, if we speak very, briefly, the final aggregates of the consciousness, even that we cannot really take it as the object of our meditation.
셈딜라다 직다 도르드니 셰나 가베 처와 껴베 처와 발메 처와 생으로 다 딘서 탐지를 4번씩 냠낸 난거를 학동생인데.
Generally, the consciousness of mind, the aggregates, has different aspects as and the happy mind and the sad mind or the neutral mind. So, but this mind, which has many aspects, should not be the ultimate focus of our meditation. Our meditation should be beyond all of those.
당은 도르드나 이모셔널디 고민 메리 순 관련 거로 당을 세상이.
In short, we have to understand from this point is that we cannot meditate or cultivate our emotions.
다디 양 셈레 대바 공고르스나 셈 까고 그래 셈 냠바 영주게 메리 상부 영주게 메르스나디 다 가두 위나 다 검토 말해.
However, having said that we should not meditate on our mind, that doesn't mean that we should block all our mental experience. If we do that, then that also will not be, beneficial or helpful for us on our practice.
남도 까야치도 남도 셈바지 길렙 남도 까야치 남도 셈바길데 남도 맞아나 셈 조에 메라.
In order to block one concept, there will arise another concept. Then in order to block that concept, there will arise another third concept, and that continues and endlessly. So therefore, we should not use such method.
다 렐라쇼디 짐바 마치스 테레다.
And the easiest things is not to have fixations.
또 고렌스나 디나미르잖아.
If we are able to, understand, then everything is, within that single, concept, not fixating.
다케나바 가진 잡주를 붙이기 까주 세윤나니 다 디나라 디기 꼴라 계신 예버는 붙이 숭유래.
If you guys have attended Rinpoche's teaching last time, then Rinpoche spoke in great length on this point.
라서 당은저 디즈디 저도 다 되는데 대신 뭐지 쉬어지.
So our time has come to an end. I will stop here. Let's do the dedication together.
Chanjoy, Semjoy, Rimboinchi, Manje, Panam, Kinjurinchi, Keba, Nyamba, Mebaraya, Kone, Kondo, Impervarishu, Sonam, Di, Tamchi, Sigbani, 톱니 니벤 다나인 밤제니 겐가 나진 발라인 투바이 Simben solen dovain dolvar shu